the mortgage credit, we have an index which we constantly track. We call it as mortgage credit availability index. All right. So the mortgage credit availability index, what that shows is that how many mortgages at any point in time, the banking system or the loan system or the banking system, how many mortgages they are issuing at any point in time. If you go back and look at in 2008, that mortgage index was at all the time high. It was like at least almost about 900 at that point in time, 875. What that means is that practically anybody who could breathe at that point in time and who had a pulse at that point in time, that person was eligible to get the housing index, to get the loan or to get the mortgage. But banks had learned very hard way in 2008, and they had really tightened up their mortgage and lending requirements. And today that mortgage affordability index is almost at 152.1, or it is within 150, which means, to answer your question, Abhishek, that there is no way we are giving any prime mortgage or any subprime mortgages to people, which means that more and more people have the equity built into their home. And I have another data point going forward where I'll show you how much equity people have in their homes. So essentially what happened back in 2008, people with $3,000 in their pocket, they could move into a home. Today, banks are not even going to look at your application unless you are meeting a minimum set of minimum down payment and you are meeting a minimum set of credit score. That's the reason why this mortgage credit availability index is so low, which means the banks are doing a great job in making sure that they're giving what you call mortgages to people who are really worth having the mortgage and who are not going to default on the mortgages. So this is the third data point which I looked at, number of homes for sale. Back in 2008, what happens, it was really a buyer's market. Okay, we call buyer's market as when the homes on the market, the inventory on the market is more than 6 months or 6.5 months worth of inventory. What that means is we look at affordability or absorption rate of the number of markets. For example, if in any neighborhood, the number of homes which are selling per month is 10, and at any point in time, if we have 70 homes on the market, which means we have about 7 months worth of inventory, which means it's probably a buyer's market. So if you look at 2008, when we went into 2008, we went with our absolute maximum number of supply which we could have in the market of the homes. That's when we went into 2008. And again, the law of economics holds good here, that the higher the supply and lower the demand, the prices goes down. But if you look right now, we are heading into this 2019-2020 recession with a seller's market where the inventory is not that great in the market. In fact, in my neighborhood, I was doing some research last week, and what I found out is in my neighborhood where I particularly live, the inventory is less than 1 month. The number of homes which are on the market, they are not even enough to satisfy 1 month worth of demand from the buyers. So what that means is, for every home which is on the market, there are multiple buyers who are bidding or who are competing with each other to get into the home. And guess what happens when buyers compete with each other? They raise the price of the home up. So if you were to do a direct correlation between on the supply between, or take a comparison between 2008 and right now, 2008 we went into that recession with buyer's market, where right now we are going into the recession with seller's market, and that's a huge difference between the two markets. So this is another data point that sorts of this also ties it back into the number two, the second bullet which we talked about, the mortgage affordability index. So back in 2008, the homes were really leveraged. What I mean by leverage is that most of the time people were using their homes as an ATM. They used their home as an ATM machine. People didn't have money in their checking accounts. People didn't have money in their savings account. If they wanted to go to Safeway to purchase milk, they'll first go to their bank, take some money out of their home, then go to Safeway and purchase that milk. That's how people were using as their homes. They were using their homes as practically ATMs. And their homes were really leveraged. In 2008, the total amount of money which was out of the real estate, which was out of the existing homes, and either into people's pocket or they had already spent, was about $824 billion with capital B. That's the amount of money which was out of the home. And so the homes were highly leveraged. In today's market, the total amount of money which people have out of their homes is only about 232 billion, which is almost 4 times less than 2008. Now, what this tells us is that more and more people have more and more equity in their home, right? Imagine you hold a real estate investment of $1 million and you have only $20,000 equity in your home. You can give that home back to back at any point in time. You don't even care. You say, okay, I have only $20,000 in the home. I don't care if I have it or if bank takes it away. That's what was happening at this point in time, right? Versus right now, at this point in time, if you go and look at this chart, almost 53.8% of the people, they have more than 50% equity in their homes. What that essentially translates to is take an average price point of a home in your markets. If, for example, the average price point of a home in your market is 500K, every homeowner have about 250K equity sitting in their home. And it takes a big heart on seller's side to give their home away to the bank, to just take $250K and then just give it away, right? And if you look at these numbers, almost 37% of the homes today in US real estate market, they are completely free and clear. What that means is people have paid up their loans. They don't own a single penny on their homes. And I'll be very highly suspicious that why people will be giving away those homes. And at the same time, 26.7% of the homes, they have more than 50% of the equity in their homes, like the mortgage homes, right? So if you look at this chart, and if you look at this data, they both tell us the same thing, that a higher percentage of people have a higher amount of equity in their home, and there is absolutely no way people are giving away that much equity for free back to the bank, or they're just putting their homes back into the market and just sell them for free. So that was for a few charts which I wanted to share with people, and just sort of, I don't know how much light at the end of tunnel I am giving, but that's what short of from the past data which we see, that as far as real estate market is concerned, the way we think is, and the way we are looking at it is, if anybody is looking to buy, this might be one of the perfect times to buy a home. Mm-hmm. And now I get so many calls from people tell me that, hey, you know what, there was a time in 2000, and a lot of people on this call might remember that at 2019, April to August, market was really very slow. Even in 2018, last 3 months were really very slow. And then now people say, hey, that was an opportunity. I could have gotten into the home and I missed that opportunity. I thought prices will go down more, but nothing happened. What do you think is going to happen now? Are they going to go down more? You know what I mean? So people are always guessing and trying to time the market. And believe me or not, if we were able to time the market, we would have all been millionaires. All we can see is look at past data and figure out whether it's the right time or not. Then I get asked this question from many people, what is the right time to buy a home? My answer to them is always, it was 5 years ago. You have already missed that opportunity. So if you want to buy a home, today is the right time to buy the home, right? So having said that, if anybody is thinking of buying a home, today might be the right opportunity based on a couple of things. Number one, the sellers are more open to looking at reasonable offers. Everybody is a little bit scared. And as I told upfront, that the time when real good investors make money is when the times are uncertain. That's the right time to make money. Nobody makes money when the market is certain, when everybody knows what's happening. That's not when you make money. So sellers are more open to accepting reasonable offers. That's number one. Number two, the buyers who were in the market, who were just causing friction in the market and who were not very serious, those buyers are out of the market. So buyers who are really very serious, or investors who are really very serious, wonderful opportunity to get into the housing market. Number three, the interest rates are really very low, between 3 and 4%. Believe me or not, once this corona situation goes away or not, these interest rates, they are going to jump up between 5 and 6%. These interest rates we are not getting back. So based on those three factors, if somebody believes that they have a need to get into a home or buy a home, my request will be, don't try to time the market. This is the perfect time to get into the home.